Hi, welcome back. I think this is lesson 10. I want to get back to your chords here. You should be practicing these every day, going through this sequence and adding a couple more that I don't have on the picture here today, the E, E minor, and E7. What I want to do today is not only review these, but also fill them up a little bit so you can have some bigger chords that you might enjoy. Never feel like these aren't sufficient though. A little chord like this G is going to be useful forever. I play lots of them. You might hit very similar little chords in various styles of music. So there'll never be an end to the need of these, but we do want to get something larger here and fuller on your guitar. Make a little more use of the lower strings. First, we'll review our images again. These pictures are just picturing your guitar facing you, sitting straight up. The three strings we'll be playing on are these three strings. We have X's on these three. That G note at the 3rd fret is held on the 1st string, and it makes a G chord when we strum. So we would hit the G chord. I'm not going to review everything here because you should remember it all. When I go to the 1st fret, I'm playing an F note on a G7 chord, C chord, up on your tip so you don't touch other strings, D7, A minor. We went to E minors, E's, and E7s. Any of those can lead you back to your A minor, which will lead you back to your D7, which leads back to G. If we're back on our A minor chord, that's a 5-string chord. We're not playing the 6th string, but we are including this open A string. So that's the bass note of your A minor chord. You notice we have this C note in it that we had in the C chord. A minor is the relative minor of C. These two chords are very closely related, and to get to a fuller C chord, I'm going to move my ring finger, which is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, to the 5th string, 3rd fret. This is a C note. So I have an open A string on the A minor. I'll take that finger and put it on a C note on the 5th string. And now I have a C chord. So this is a great practice for you. A minor, C. A minor, C. I'm hitting 5 strings on both of these chords now. C first now. A minor. You'll recognize that sound from all kinds of songs. For me especially, I associate it with 50s and 60s songs. This is used in the doo-wop progression. You'll hear it also in Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. It's also in Stand By Me, all kinds of different songs will use it. So that would be one of my practices. C and A minor, C and A minor. These two fingers, pointer and middle finger now, are anchor fingers. They're not moving. I'm going from the C note on the 5th string to the ring finger sitting on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's an A note. So I've got an A note here in A minor and an open A string. On C, I've got the pointer on C and the ring finger on a C. There could be a time where you'd go from C to A minor to D7 to G. So let's fill up that G a little bit now. You should be playing it with your ring finger. You can reach all the way down to the 6th string. As you know, both of these strings are E strings. So on the 3rd fret, if this is a G, so is this a G. So I can play the whole guitar now. Now I've got this low G note in my G chord. I'm only using those two fingers. These guys aren't in play at the moment. I'm playing across 6 strings, but at the moment my 5th string is killed. When I reach down with this ring finger, I'm fretting the G note, but this finger is leaning over and touching the 5th string so I don't hear it. That's called a mute. So this is a way to play a G where we don't hear the 5th string. If I want to hear the 5th string in a very much more traditional G chord, then the pointer finger hits the 5th string, 2nd fret, B note. So I've got my high G and my low G, and you can just practice those. This will start getting your hand in front of the guitar. It'll get you rolling up on the tip of that finger. That finger is bent. If you get it locked out like this, you'll have trouble reaching that chord. So try to roll it on its tip, put it on the string, and push it over so that the finger buckles and grab that low G. I can hit 6 strings, or I can arch this finger and put this note, the B note, on. Now I've got 6 good notes. G, G, C, A minor, D7. As you know, we can slide this finger into the G chord. When I do so, these 2 fingers, which are on this angle, 1st fret, 2nd fret, can reach down to the same angle on the 3rd fret, 2nd fret of the low strings. Oddly enough, these chords look totally different in their pictures. One a tiny little compact triangle, and this other one spread out and very vertical looking. But the fingers are doing the exact same thing, just further apart. There they are in the G. If I drag it back and collapse it, it's D7. You can practice this in 2 motions: slide, reach, slide, reach. What you'll end up doing later is you'll be moving and sliding and reaching at the same time. D7 and G. Notice I've picked 2 chords to play. You can play entire songs and go around in progressions, but if you're having any trouble with one chord change, don't wait 30 seconds or more to get to it once in a song. Practice that one chord change over and over. D7 to A minor to C. D7, A minor, C. C, A minor, C, A minor, C, A minor, D7. A minor, C, A minor, D7, A minor, C, A minor, D7, G. G, D7, A minor, C. C, A minor, D7, G. You can work around in all those circles, finding whichever chords have common fingers. Those anchor fingers allow you to practice your chord changes. When we learn the pictures, our mentality will be to figure out a C chord, let it go, and reconstruct the next chord. Let it go, and reconstruct the next. And then you end up putting these fingers down one at a time into chords. You really have no choice but to do that right now. As a beginner guitarist, your fingers aren't going to be flowing from chord to chord yet. But if you're aware of it, you can start to try to train that. Use your anchor fingers as much as possible, and try to have the entire chord in mind. Right now your hands don't listen to you very well, so you may have to plant one finger just to force the next one into position. You can take for granted, after you've played for years, that the fingers will do exactly what you want them to do. But that's not the case at first. One of the things we talk about is we say practice a lot, and you talk about muscle memory. It's not really muscle memory, it's brain memory. What we're doing when we practice is we're really training. We're creating new neural pathways to each motion. When you send a signal to your hand to make a chord, that signal doesn't have a direct route there yet, so it takes a few trials to get there. The more you practice, the more that path becomes ingrained. It's like wearing a path in a field. You get quicker and quicker at sending that neural signal to your hand, and it learns these motions. So really think of it as training. You don't have to practice for an hour. You don't even need 20 reps. What you need to be able to do is get about 5. If you can make the chord change about 5 times in a row and then let it rest, don't work on it all day. Give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, and then put it aside. What you've done is you've started to reshape your brain. Later on, those neural pathways will be developed and they'll be more used to you. Very often the next day, you'll find out you're better than you were when you ended your practice, because that training you've done for your brain actually comes into play. I want to keep this really short today, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I just want to show you the pictures of these chords. There's your original G with your ring finger on the G note, and we're strumming 3 or perhaps 4 strings. Then with the ring finger here, I've reached down with my second finger to the bottom string of the guitar. Your hands are not too small to do this. You probably think they are. What you have to do is get your angles. You have to have that finger bent and rolled right over. It can't lock you out here or you won't reach. And you need your guitar high enough that you can reach in front of it. Your hand will take some strengthening and some stretching to get there. You may also have to work on your angles. Feel free to move your thumb around in the back of the neck to find the right place. Try not to lock it over the top right now. That will handcuff you so you can't reach chords as well. Let your body and your arm and your shoulder relax under the guitar. I've put an X on the 5th string here. That's because this finger is muting it in that version. You can complete the chord by adding your 2nd fret with your pointer finger on the 5th string. Then on the C, I've added a couple of low notes now. We had these top 3 strings. It also requires a 2nd fret on the 4th string and a 3rd fret on the 5th. And we got to that not by building C initially, but by coming from an A minor that we already knew. And you can work back and forth between those. There's way more chords we can do even at the beginner stage, but I want to get this one out and get you playing these a little bit. You can start to look through your Hal Leonard book for songs that have these chords in them. Beauclerc de la Lune would use G, C, and D7. You will find other songs deeper in the book that will stay on those chords. If you include the E minor, you can go to Red River Valley. If you want to do A minor and the E7 that we learned earlier, then you can go to Joshua Fought the Battle of Jericho on page 23 of the Hal Leonard book. So I'll leave it at that and I'll catch you later. Thanks again. Bye.